Hello! Hope people are good today. Wait, it's a secret! You guys can't know! It's what we're working on today, so you'll definitely see. But yeah, I've got a little bit of a project today, which I'm excited to work on. Let me fix chat a little bit. There we go. Make sure that this is set so that I can see all messages, because for some reason it keeps defaulting to not showing me all the chat messages. But should be good now, I think. Should be all set up. But yes, hello. We are working on, well, it's one of my, I have 2 video projects that I'm working on at the moment. This is one of them. You can see why it's taken me a while. I've already started, but I'm working on making a lovely foresty tabletop. And it needs more stuff. Like, I like the flowers, I like some of the things I have going on. I do want to see some of this brown underneath, but I think it needs more moss and things. So we're mostly going to be adding a bunch of, like, I think moss. I have some other kind of, like, this moss too. Got this sort of moss. Ooh, I can show you. Not very well, apparently, but this sort of stuff. I also got a bunch of really old, like, peppermint leaf. That's just, I figured could look like little tiny leaves. I've also got some other leaves I'm figuring I could use. Where's the, okay, good, my sound is working. What I'm trying to figure out is how I'm going to kind of attach things, because for like bigger stuff like this, like the flowers and things, I've just been either gluing things down or it's probably not a good thing, but this is kind of tacky, and it has been. It's solid. It feels solid, but it's kind of tacky. So some of the leaves and things kind of stick to it. But for some of the like smaller stuff, I'm not sure how I want to do it. Thinking of like the interesting. Maybe I didn't mix it well enough, because that part right there is not tacky. Interesting. Don't think about it too hard. It's fine. It's fine. But like for like this grassy sort of stuff, I don't know that I want to place things individually. That seems like it would take a while. But I don't know that I want things lying flat either. I probably want things sticking up a bit. But to start out, maybe we add some of this other moss around, just with our handy dandy glue. Oh my gosh, if I can open it. Here. I do also have my camera here, because I have been filming this whole process. So I figured I'd probably film a little bit of this, or I might also include some of this live stream, who knows. But let's add some stuff in here. I do plan on having another layer that's going to have some like foliage kind of creeping in from the sides, some like ferns and such. But I'm like, maybe like this area here definitely could be, move that so you can see. This area right here could definitely be all mossified. So maybe we just add some glue. And some moss. Just gonna add a whole section of moss, I think. Maybe we can add some of the stringy stuff. Stringy moss? What do you call this? Can't remember what kind of moss this is, but some of this stuff. Get a little bit more texture and things, I guess, from kind of matches this other green. I think it's good. But my goal here is not, like I said, not necessarily to cover the whole thing, because I do want some of the brown, but I want enough stuff that it actually feels forest floor-ish, actually kind of covered. I don't want to do this. I'm trying to make things like interesting. I want some like interesting, like, with some points of interest. That's the word I'm looking for. I want some points of interest and things in here. So like I do kind of want the flowers to stand out. So I do want a little bit of the dark background kind of around them. But at the same time, how do I make this feel busy? Ooh, that's kind of cool around the mushroom here. Maybe I put this around this mushroom. Just kind of like, kind of in there like that. That's kind of cool. I think I like that. And then maybe we add some leaves and stuff around there. But let's glue this down. Something else that I've done is I've mixed up a little bit of coffee grounds, cinnamon, and cumin. I think that's what I have in here. To look like dirt. And I've been making basically dirt paste. So I'll add some glue. And then mix that up. And I'm basically making sticky fake dirt that I can then spread around as needed. Can I interest anybody in some dirt paste? But I figure that adding a little bit of this around some of these connections might help make things feel like they're more coming out of the earth, as it were. But this might be, maybe this is something I should I turn the music down a little bit? I just find the music a little bit distracting. Alright. Maybe I should film this a bit. What? My moth! I do have my little camera. Oh, and it's already set up in the perfect spot. There. Maybe look like it's something growing or something out of the ground. Let's see here. I'm just gonna get some little bits as we go. Let's see here. So maybe we just kind of add like go around and add things almost. How do I do this? That is the hard part here, is trying to figure out how to kind of have points of interest and keep things separate. And also show off some of the brown of the underneath, because I do like the texture that I ended up getting in here with the kind of, I don't know what you call it, kind of scaly sort of pattern and the different colors of brown. So I do want to see some of that. But how do I show it off while also, you know, not having it, like, it needs to look busy. If it doesn't look busy, then it's going to look very fake. Now a little bit more dirt here on this mushroom. Hello, how are you doing, Cobra? I'm figuring out how to arrange things so that it looks busy and also fantasy-esque and pleasing to the eye. I do have this little container of bones. Can add a few of those. I'm wondering, I'm trying to figure out how much of like the bottom brown part I should leave uncovered. Just add a little bit of this. Add a couple of bones, I think, over here. Maybe if I can tack it down. There we go. But I've got bones in a fairy circle. Just put that right in the middle there. That's true though. I feel like I'm okay with that though. I feel like that's definitely a vibe I can get behind. It's definitely something. Quite a few bones around here. I do have, I think it's part of a mouse skull or something here. These are bone. Oh, what's that? Oh, here's a piece of a jaw of something. These are bones from an owl pellet. Just for anyone curious, this one's got some teeth on it, so it's definitely part of a jaw. But I think you're right. I should have some around the fairy circle. I think that's fitting. Just a few little bones. Where did I put the lid for this? Oh, here's the lid. I don't mind there being some like darker undertones. It's like, you know, or some things that are a little bit weird. I have a fish bone over here too, which is weird for forest. I do have some other bugs and things I could probably add. But yeah, the real thing I'm trying to figure out is how do I add things? How much of the brown do I leave? Do I leave it brown in the middle of the fairy circle, for example? Should I kind of have it filled, like, I could leave it, like, try and fill it up a bit, maybe more around it, and almost have, like, a sharp, some happy little bones sprinkled around. Tell a little story, yeah. Or should I have stuff inside of the little fairy circle of some sort? Well, while I'm trying to figure that out, maybe we can add some more of this moss. I think I want something in this corner back here. I'm thinking I'm gonna put some ferns kind of going around this a bit, but I want something back here maybe that's green to add to some texture here, the background. Maybe we just add a little bit more of this moss. I don't want to go too close to the edge because I do want the sides to be. I don't want stuff sticking through the sides if I end up like sanding and things. I don't want this sticking up too far over here, because like I said, I'm probably going to have some ferns and things on the next layer up. There we go. I think that'll work. Add a little bit more over on this other side. This is my process. It's me just sitting here and going, I'll figure something out. I haven't been on a live in a few weeks. This project looks super beautiful. Can't wait until the morning. Oh, thanks, Geek Express. There'll be a whole video about it at some point. It's one of those projects where I'm like, I've had it on my calendar, and I've worked on it, and then I didn't actually finish the part that I meant to finish, which was doing this part, when I meant to on my calendar, and then I'm like, oh, I'll do it at some point. So I'm using streaming, as usual, as an excuse to get things done that I need to get done. But also, then I can pick your guys' brain about what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm doing crinkly at the moment. Because I'm trying to figure out how much of the brown part in the bottom I should keep and such. There's there's going to be another layer above this with some ferns and some flying things. But this is going to be kind of the main section of everything. And so I want to keep, like I want to keep some of the what was I saying? I want to keep some of the brown and things, and I want to keep things separate, but I just it's difficult to know how much to keep. I had to put your resin up for the winter here. Way too cold for pouring. Oh yeah, fair. Last week got down to single-digit temps. It's so opposite here. It's so warm here. It's been like 50 degrees, and it's almost Christmas. I mean, I feel like usually it's coldest for us in January and February, but yep, yeah, exactly. It's like, why is it so warm? So warm. Let's see here. I could add some, oh, you know, I have some little fake rocks that I made at one point. I think we could add a few of those around here. That might be nice. Let me grab a little, I'll grab one in there for now so I can actually grab things. We add a little bit of rockage. Now the temperatures have been interesting this year. And some fake rocks. I don't know why I'm adding smooth rocks, doesn't necessarily make the most sense, but also there's fish bones here, which also doesn't make sense. So, you know, maybe it's wind erosion, I don't know, that's smoothed them out, I don't know. We'll add some rocks. These are fake rocks, to be fair. I have actual rocks in here, but these are fake rocks. Again, I should be filming some of this. Last couple days here it was 50, then 20, then 44, today it was 20. It's just flip-flopping. That's just weird. Why is it changing so much? Let me film some of this. I'm adding some rocks here. I might need to add some of the fake dirt here to go with these. Guys. Goes to show the joke about Ohio weather. Welcome to Ohio. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It sounds like it. It sounds like the weather's, I should go back and watch some Whose Line. Your reference to it there made me think of it. I do like improv comedy. Ah, my rocks. Knock my rocks over. My faux rocks. Okay, just a second here. You know what? We'll just throw that stuff in there. They aren't attached to that. 60 on Xmas is nuts. Like 19 degrees. Oh, well, okay, in Ontario, yeah. No, it's usually like, we've definitely had white Christmases here. You know, we get snow sometimes, and like I said, it is usually the coldest around like January, February, but no, it's it being in the 50s or whatever has been crazy. We've had some record high temperatures for December recently. Turn that off. Oh, Drew Carey's from Ohio? You know, I have a friend that I bet would know that fact. I do enjoy having friends that are obsessed with oddly niche things. Mostly because I get obsessed about oddly niche things. But I have one friend who just is absolutely obsessed with Whose Line Is It Anyway? Not Whose Line Is It Anyway. He's obsessed with oh my gosh, I've just blanked on what game show it is. Not Whose Line. It's a game show. Is it Wheel of Fortune? No. I can't think of... Oh, I didn't realize he was in the Marine Corps. You're having rain, snow, wind, snow, and some crazy... We've had so much wind, which I think is probably because of the temperatures. I would assume that the flip-flopping in temperatures is doing weird things to the air pressure. Yeah, it's mostly just been... The Price is Right! That's the word. That's the game show. I have a friend who loves The Price is Right. Maybe it's just windy everywhere or something. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit better about that. Feels a little bit more full. Let's see. Yeah, what do I want to do? I could add some more leaves and things. And I was talking about adding I've got a bunch of old peppermint leaf that does not smell like peppermint anymore. Doesn't smell like peppermint anymore. I was like, I could add some leaves and things. Maybe I add some leaves in here along the sides. Do I just use the glue? I mean, really the best way to do it would be to mix this with a bunch of resin, right? And then do like, kind of like some resin, in it, like a really thin resin layer almost, in just one spot. But do I want to do a whole thing with resin before I do a whole layer of resin? Not really. Not really. But so I could try just putting down some glue, a thin layer of glue, and then sprinkle some leaves on it. But that also might make a mess. Although I guess if some of them float, I'm gonna be doing another layer on top, so it wouldn't be a huge deal. Maybe we add a bunch of leaves. Let's just try adding a bunch of leaves. Why not? We'll see how it goes. And spread out some glue so it's a nice thin layer. Did my music stop? What's going on with my music? That one's too quiet. I can't hear it. I want it quiet, but not so quiet that I can't hear it. Oops, I've turned the volume up now. Alright. So I just want to kind of make this a little bit tacky almost. And we're going to try putting a bunch of leaves. We'll just... That's probably more leaves than I should have put. Those are going to go absolutely everywhere. I know that if I blow that, it's going to go absolutely everywhere. I probably should have done the smart thing and mixed them with some resin instead of just trying to glue things down. But I wanted to be lazy. Obviously, that's why I'm making such a big table. Well, it's not a very big table, but obviously I want to be lazy. That's why I'm making a table. Real lazy thing to do. Yeah, I'm gonna try out a little bit more glue over here, and then if there's extra leaves, I can try and push them into that glue. Actually, wait, you know what? We'll just do this. We'll just, there you go, it's fine. Pour it out. Get some patches of leaves. Perfect. Apparently that works. I can just... Everything's glued down. So hopefully the things that might float are also things that'll fall out if I do that. That actually worked better than I thought it was going to. Oh yeah, I like the little patches of like fake leaves. I don't know how well you can see that here. Let me see if I can get closer for you guys to see. Yeah, see the little patches of leaves? I think I'm going to do some more of that maybe over here, partially just so I can film it, because I didn't really film that. And I should get some of that on camera. Oops. Get you guys' cable out of the way. Let's see here. How am I going to film this? It is the problem with working on video projects while streaming. Project's gorgeous. Perfect background for the Humblewood campaign you're doing. Ooh! That does sound fun. Okay, let's see if we can film doing some of the leafage. Oops. How much... Where do I want to zoom in? Yeah, we'll zoom in there. Yeah, I figured this table is just going to be for me. Partially because I like it's a little bit of an experiment. Maybe if it turns out well, maybe it's something I could think about doing in the future. Although honestly, I don't know the amount of time that I'm putting into this. I don't know if I'd... It's very much a case of I don't know if I would want to sell things that would take that much time. Partially just because I don't know how I would price things. I don't like even if, you know, obviously should charge for time and stuff, but I'm just bad at actually... Once you get over a certain price point, it's like, don't know about that. Don't know about that. That seems like a pretty steep price there, even if it is how much time you've actually put in. All right. Add some leaves. But I might look into different resin too. Partially because I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about how heat resistant this resin is. I don't know that it's going to be. I'll be honest with you too, I'm a little bit worried that this is not cured correctly. And I say that because this is kind of tacky. And it's not right in this little spot. It's not. It is right here. Probably shouldn't be touching it, but it's solid at the very least. I'm just hoping that my problems will be fixed by ignoring them, as I usually do. All right. And let's, I'm gonna pour this out into a little container. I might see if I can film this too. Nope, wrong way. I'm making a bit of a mess, but not actually as much of a mess as I could be making, I suppose. There we go. Yeah, the leaves is good. It feels like little like small foliage, which I think is great. That's kind of what I was thinking, Cobras. If another layer goes over it, it might be okay. Certainly this on coasters. Yeah. That was kind of where this experiment started, was with coasters. And you'll see that in the video that I eventually make on it. I tried doing coasters first just to see the heat resistance, basically, of this resin. Because this is a different resin that I'm using. Which I think is built for tables. I think it's for tabletops. But, it seems like it is both a harder resin and it's a much thinner resin than my normal resin. So since this isn't going into a pressure pot, it's nice because it'll actually flow around things and air bubbles can escape a little bit easier. I like the leaves though. I think the leaves was a good touch. Do I do some like leaves all the way through here. Maybe I do some more moss. Could add some other moss. I think maybe more leaves. I'm liking the leaves as like a simple, it has texture to it, but it's also just kind of a simple ground covering. Which works great for having areas that both feel like they have stuff in them, but also aren't too distracting. Like I can still have stuff around, and have it stand out from just the banks of leaves. But let's. Okay. All right. Still got these leaves left over. All right. Let me see if. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use posters on the table though. Yeah, I like the leaves. I'm glad that I grabbed those. I could grab some other. It's kind of nice around the edge too, because then I can leave a little bit more brown in here, I think, and still have it feel magical, I guess. I do might have. Oh, that's some English. I might have some other small leaves. I mean, I've got all sorts of things over here. I've got these leaves, which I, oh, I've got other bugs and things in here, too. I've got, oh, it's kind of hard to see. Let me stack so you can kind of see. This is all, like, things that I've dried myself or collected. I do have a whole big-ass dragonfly in here, which is pretty cool. But I could do like a fly or a few. I've got some flies and some beetles. I could do a wasp nest, little one, little paper wasp nest. That might be cool. Just gonna set that there for now. Could add an actual wasp too. Got a roly-poly. These are things that I just found, you know, dead places outside in my windowsill. Curious if flowers and leaves have been treated with anything. Once you put some plant matter and resin, it turned all brown and kind of nasty. That's interesting to me. Like, were they dried? Should make sure that things are dried completely before putting them in resin. I will say I know that this, I know that this blue one right here, I've put it in resin before and it does turn brown. But for the most part, I've put things in resin before and they've been fine. Ooh, I have these purple flowers. I'm kind of going for like a purple and orange theme, if you couldn't tell. I've got these ones too, although those are kind of dark. I want some things that have a little bit more height in these flowers, I think. So grab a couple little things. But I have some other like little kind of leafy bits. I'm gonna set that up to the side. I think it would be nice. Cobra has the same question I do. Like, wait, what? Yeah. Oh, I like these leaves. You know, I've got a bunch of random florally bits here. I think that's a piece of rose. It's got thorns on it. But we could definitely throw some random little bits in here. Random little leaves and things. a beetle. Okay, we've got a few things there to work with. I do also have just a dragonfly wing here. I have a grasshopper. I think the dragonfly wing wouldn't show up though. All right, let's add some of those things, and then we can. What's one of these? Yeah, let's grab some of these. We'll add some of those things, and then see how we're doing. Oh yeah, yeah. That's probably the main thing. I will say that, like, these. Well, these flowers here. These are ones for the most part that I bought that were pressed, and they've been dyed. A lot of them. This is not the natural color of the flower. I can tell. I do have some that I've dried, and I know that they're the sort of natural color, but so those have been kind of processed. Some of them still, like I said, like this one right here, it will just turn brown, and I just know that from experience because I've used that sort of flower in things before. I'll put all of these things in here. I think I probably should once again do some filming while I attach things. To a little container here. Yeah, no, resin does not like the moisture, just in general. Okay, where do I want to add these? That's the real question. I think I kind of want to continue maybe around the side a bit. Maybe this side. Because this feels a little bit more full now that I've added all the leaves and stuff. I think I could add some more over here. I just need to move some things out of the way. I've got so much stuff on this table. Oh my gosh, if I can get the camera set up how I want it. Alright. Hopefully my arm's not in the way. But we'll add that looks kind of nice there, I think. We'll glue that down. Just gonna there we go. So I grabbed some more purple flowers. I've got some over here. I'm thinking we can kind of have these stand up, which is kind of how I have the other ones. They're a little bit taller almost. I might need to have those leaning against something. Maybe some nice bright moss. Yeah. I think that needs a little bit of glue as well. So I will say one of the things I am a little bit worried about putting in here is the bugs, because I feel like I have run into issues with them before. Mostly I think it's they're I mean, they are dry, but I think there's maybe like some they shrink a bit almost. I'm still figuring out all sorts of things as I go as well. I feel like I have almost a weird responsibility just because not responsibility, or I think there's some people maybe that think like view me as an authority on some of the resin stuff, because I make videos about it. But there's still so much stuff that I have no clue on. Or that I'm just like, well, that's something. Yeah, the bees especially, I think. So we'll see, because I do have some bees in here. So I'm not too worried about this, because I do plan to have another layer of these above it. But I might want to put something in the corner here. Maybe even just some like dark green or something. That angle. But I might want to put something in the corner a bit that's a little bit darker. Oh, you know what else I do have up there is some snake skin. Could do that. I have some fake moss here that ends up really dark green in the resin. But I think it might, it's literally for model making, I think. But I think it might work to kind of like make this corner darker, but also green, which is what I want. That was a bigger piece than I meant to grab. There we go. You did, let's see. You did put the idea of having a chunk D20 made with a cicada husk. Other things popped up. Yeah, fair, yeah. Maybe someday. That seems like one of those projects that could be something for the future. I think I could add some of these leaves going over this here. Kind of connect it a bit. I'm gonna do that. I think that overlapping things gives a better sense of like depth and such. All right. I'm feeling better about this section now. I think we could continue up. We could, maybe I add more leaves here. I think that the leaves around the edge is really nice. I think it adds to, like, it gives a good kind of border. I think we could add some in here too. So I think maybe I continue with the leaves here. How am I gonna do this? I think I continue with the leaves there. Let's see. Can I do this? How badly actually it might be okay for your vision. I was gonna say, how badly does that block you guys, but I think you guys can still see. And we can angle it a little bit more. Let's get it this way. So I want to add, I think, leaves all along this side here. Unfortunately, I think that bone's gonna get covered, but and then we'll smooth that out a bit. jars full of cicada husks and nothing to do with them. Man, we don't really have cicadas around here, so that's just really, like, interesting to me, I guess. I don't really... I think that's all the spots. What's kind of interesting, when a crow knows you like collecting rent. Do you have a crow that brings you things? That is like the dream right there. I want a crow that brings me things. I have to be the crow that brings me things. Alright. We're gonna have to dust this off, as we did before. I had one drop by a couple times. It's left the feathers, some interesting twigs, and leaves in exchange for some sunflower seeds. It's making a trade. It knows what you want. We'll get that out of the way. And then let's do the thing. I'll even angle it up this time so you can see my lovely vest that's missing a button. But let's see if I can do this. I want to get all of these leaves off that aren't fully attached and little bits of things because I don't want them floating. So, as long as they stay tacked down, we're all good. Piss off birds, yeah. Hey, maybe you guys can see a little bit better now, that side there. There we go. It feels a little bit more full of things while still having some of that brown peeking through. Yeah, I like that. I think maybe I'll add some more of these purple flowers in here too. Let's see. Learned so much from me. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Green Fairy. Ooh, yeah, the Tumblr's so useful. But yeah, I'm glad to give people info. Every once in a while, though, someone asks me a question, I'm like, I have no idea. It's like, I'm not the person to ask. I shall pretend to be the authority on that, sure. I don't do that. Maybe it's because I enjoy teaching things, I guess. That's kind of, yeah, all the Corvids, they will hold a grudge and also teach their friends to hold a grudge, and their children and their children's children. But I don't pretend to, or I try not to pretend to know things that I don't actually know. I am, sometimes known as the, person that Googles everything at work. Like, if someone brings up something and I'm like, what does that mean? I'm curious about that, I'll just go look it up. I like researching things, and I like looking up things that I don't know. That is, to be fair, that is something. People will reach out with questions and stuff, and I'll straight up tell people either that I don't know, or I will, try to do the research a bit. Like, so every once in a while someone will ask for like a commission that I'm like, I don't really have the setup for that, but you know, I'll go poking around and asking around various groups and dice makers and stuff that I know and be like, hey, does anybody else want to do this? So I don't know, even if I don't know the answer or I'm not the person for something, I'm happy to help people find hopefully the right person. Do I have more leaves there? Or more moss? Maybe we do a little bit more moss. Can I get this in camera? That's not in camera. I'm trying not to crush anything. There we go. Alright. I do like crows. If that wasn't obvious by my self-portrait painting. I might be able to put this over some other things, which might be good. There's a leaf stuck to my, there's leaves stuck to my glue. I am now realizing that maybe I shouldn't have played music for the stream in case I do want to use some of this. I guess it's fine if there's background music. Probably won't use too much footage from this stream in the video. And if I do, who's to say that there will be audio from the actual stream? There we go. More texture, more height. So that for now, because I need to pour that out again. Ooh! And not knock everything over. Alright, apparently that's good. Oops, I've knocked over my fake dirt cup too. Alright. Apparently I'm changing it around every time. Now you get to see a different angle. Like I said, it's unfortunately tacky. We'll add some leaves though, why not? A little bit of leafage around. Oh, see, that's also not tacky. Well, that's good, that's right along the side. I'd rather it be tacky in the middle, because that can maybe get covered up. Don't like that it's unevenly tacky though. Alright, this is feeling better. This is feeling better, and I think I like it even here with like the kind of the brown in between, because you've got a little bit of the darker brown and the lighter brown, so you get to see some of that. We can definitely add some other things too, but I'm fine with seeing some of that. You can also have something kind of extend out into here, like got a vine here of some sort. Although that could go over here too. I kind of want to add, yeah, maybe I go over here with that. I think that's a good spot. I like it there. Because I've kind of got, it's a little bit flat, I think, over on this end. I've got a little bit of height variation, but for the most part these flowers they're pressed flowers, so they're quite flat. So having a little bit of extra, how did I have this? I just put that on the end. I guess it was just like that. Just gotta balance it there and hope that it stays down. I guess so. Guess that's how I'm doing that. Had to do any sanding or polishing on the resin surface before applying the goodie. No. I just poured a layer. Like I was saying earlier, I'm a little bit worried because this is still tacky, and it's been a while. And it's unevenly tacky too. There's spots where it's not really tacky, like along this edge. You know, along the edge actually it's not tacky. Why is it just tacky in the middle? Like it's fine along the edge. This is not tacky. Here it's tacky, here it's not. Part of the reason that I was like, well, I'm just going with it is that I was like, well, I'm going to be doing a couple more layers on top, so hopefully the tackiness will get covered up. And I guess it might if it's solid along the sides. It's just in the middle. But I am a little bit worried that it's not cured properly. But no, I poured a layer of resin here. That's what the brown is. It's a layer of resin, and then I've just been up and gluing things down. Everything's going to be sealed in, so I'm not too worried about how well things stick as long as they stick. I just need things to stay where I put them roughly. Doesn't need to be an exact thing. Got some rocks and things over here. But yeah, I think going around the edge is the play here. So we still have kind of the flowers going into the middle here a bit. But I could add, I do have a random wasp nest. Maybe I add that over here. I could use some more like kind of brownish tones. And some interesting things I think over on the side. I do also have some beetles and stuff. Oh, something, you know what? I might, because I do want maybe some like individual little things in this brown. I might add a beetle out here. I'm gonna add a beetle maybe like right here. I don't want it to line up exactly with the mushrooms there. I'm trying to avoid straight lines. That's one of the things. It's strangely, I don't want to say difficult. Come on. Got a roly poly here though. It takes a strange amount of precision to make things look random. Because actual random things don't always look random. There you go. I have a little roly poly there. I think that's a good spot for that. Because an actual random thing, like if something's actually random, sometimes you just end up with like strangely even looking things or oddly lined up. Whereas if you want something to look natural, you don't want things to line up. Like, you kind of want if you're doing art stuff, usually you're trying to make things feel balanced but not symmetrical and not too evenly spaced. Of course, like with any art, you can do whatever the heck you want. The rules are things that are there for you to break. It's useful to know the rules so that you can break the rules. And I think that's true for pretty much any kind of art. That's what I think art classes, I enjoyed taking art classes and stuff in school. And I do think that, it's funny, in middle school, I'm just remembering middle school, my art teacher in middle school really liked me, I think, and I think it's because I argued with her. Like, I was always the one being like, she was giving, like, looking back, like, it's been 15 years or whatever since, maybe more than that, 15 years since what age did you start middle school? Do you start middle school at 11? It's been 20 years, since I was in middle school, I guess, but, not quite that long. Looking back, it's like, oh, these were, she was, she did a really good job of giving critiques and things, but, I was very much that kid in middle school. If she was giving, critiques to a student or something on a project, I'd be like, maybe that's how I wanted to do it. Maybe that's just his artistic vision. Like, I was very much that kid in the art class in middle school. I don't want to do this. Add some leaves here. Figure out where we want the thing. Ugh. But I do think that in any artistic medium, whether it be painting or writing or what have you, it's useful to know the techniques and the sort of rules of the medium so that you can be intentional when you break them. I think that's really it, is intentionality. I think that, I mean, you can obviously make great art without meaning to, but I think that a lot of what makes something art almost is the intention behind it. It's not necessarily, I mean, I'm also that person though that thinks that art's more about the process than it is about the final product. Which isn't to say that I don't enjoy nice, pretty, interesting to look at art. Like, I like seeing things that are nice and pretty and fun to look at, but I am more interested in like the process to get there. I want to know. I guess I like behind the scenes stuff too. Like in film and things. I like seeing like the inner workings of it, and knowing how it was done, and seeing the people behind it, and hearing about how they did various effects and stuff. I find that stuff really interesting. And I enjoy things more if the people making them are obviously passionate about the things that they're making. Alright, let's see here. I'm liking that. Did I flip it again? I flipped it. No, it's the same way it was before, wasn't it? Okay. This feels very, like, we need some purple and stuff in here, don't we? We've got a little bit. Or some orange. We could use some orange in here. I don't really have any orange moss or anything, but or like a little bit more purple or a little bit more orange, because I feel like I'm going for kind of a purple and orange scheme on here. There's some other pinky tones and blues and things in here, but mostly purple and orange, as seen by the flowers here and the mushrooms. So I think I could use some more in here, because that's a lot. That's a lot of green. I suppose maybe as I start doing other things around the sides, it might feel more balanced as I add more leaves and greenery and stuff around the sides. I just feel like there's a lot of color here and not a lot in here. Got this, which is quite orange. Got this kind of fluffy plant, whatever that is, that's quite orange. I've got chamomile flowers, which are quite small and quite yellow. They could maybe add some color over here. Just think about this. I don't know how I want to do this though. I could also add a few just of the flowers over here. I might have some orange ones left. Oh, I do like this orange in here though. Maybe I just add some little fluffy bits, since those are kind of falling off. Add just a few in here to add some orange tone to it. Because that matches this orange really closely. Or just a little section of it almost in here. Some of these other mosses. I think that seems like a fair plan. Let me get this set up so we can get some footage. A little bit of, I feel like the texture kind of matches the mossy bits, but we get some of that color in there that I feel like we're missing. Yeah, I think I like that. It kind of feels like just a different kind of moss. But in the orange color that I wanted. There we go. I do want to clear some stuff away from the edge a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of that somewhere in here too. Excuse me while I try to focus on placing little bits of orange and go dead silent. I've talked about it before. When I'm like pouring dice, I've done it so much that I kind of don't have to think about it. But when I'm working on something where I'm trying to kind of like puzzle together what I'm doing, I just like can't talk at the same time. I'd have to like focus on how I'm putting things. There we go. It's very similar in color, but it has a ooh, I like that. It's very subtle, but I like it. Ugh. Why is that so blown out? Why does it feel like it's so blown out? Maybe I'll add some more around the rocks over here. Oh, oh, that's the same question as from before. I think some of why I like knowing the like behind the scenes of things too is that sometimes it feels like, I know there's some things that it's like this for me, but sometimes it feels like other people can just do things without trying. And like I said, there are some things like that for me where I've got enough practice with something that I don't have to think about it. I can just do it. But I sometimes I feel like I have to like sit and puzzle it out, maybe. And I'm sure, like I said, if I spend enough time with whatever it is, I could just sit and do it. But being able to like see the mechanics of something like can make it easier to kind of puzzle out how it works. So like looking at it from like an analytical perspective, I guess, instead of a purely vibes perspective. Yes, that little bit of orange added so much. Could add a little bit over here too. Yeah, we could add some more over here. Whoops, wrong direction. That is the wrong direction. But if I have like an actual like, I don't know, list, I guess, almost, of how the pieces move in something, and I can actually take the time to like sit and look at those pieces, then I can work it out. That was one of the things when I was during the pandemic, so 5 years ago or whatever. I did a voice acting class via Zoom, and that was one of the things I kind of realized there was that, like, I need to, like, sit. I can't just cold read. I need to, like, sit there and read through everything and kind of, like, figure out the pieces. I can't just, like, go in and do it off the cuff. I need to, like, figure out kind of my how all the pieces work together and what the plan is. And that's not always true. And I do think that I've gotten, partially probably because of that class, I've gotten better at being able to just read things. But that was one of the things I enjoyed about the theater class that I took when I was at UW too. I did one theater class while I was there, and we did kind of it was a class that really made me realize, how much say an actor has in how something, like how a performance turns out, which sounds weird maybe, but like it almost seems like you have the lines on the page, right, and actors are just saying the lines on the page almost. I know that's reductive. That's not quite how I thought about it, but I think we did the Stanislavski method, but if I remember correctly. But I liked it because it involved, like, breaking a script down into, like, small pieces and then kind of, like, playing with those pieces, which was fun. And also, like I was saying, I kind of need I don't think I want that up on the rock. Put something else up on the rock. I work best when I can kind of break things down into pieces and figure out how the pieces work. Get off my tweezers. I think that's good. Maybe we'll just add this piece. Maybe we add it over here, actually. Yeah. But yeah, I remember that being fun. I do also remember kind of freaking out my scene partner a little bit at one point. We did so we did a thing. We were doing this where we were breaking things down into various, like, beats, basically. So whenever something changed or you got a new piece of information, it was a new beat of the story, new story beat. And we went and we had, like, two-person scenes that we were practicing. Were they all two-person? I don't remember. The one I was doing was two-person. It was me and this other gal. But we were doing scenes from things, and we had broken them down into the beats, basically. And the methodology was that, and this is the other thing that I really liked about that. The idea that you have your character, you need to give them, like, a goal. Like a goal of, like, something specific that they're trying to obtain that you can tell when they obtain it. So, like, the example I've given is that you don't have a goal of make someone else angry, because there's no, like, there's no actual point that you can say, oh yes, this is anger. You could say, I want to make this other person leave the room. That's something that you can measure. You want a measurable goal. There's the word I was looking for. Something that you can definitively say whether it's been met or not. And we were doing a scene, me and this other gal, where basically we were both trying to get to a gun. I think that's what it was. Again, this was a while ago. Almost 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago, let's say. But basically every beat of the story, you change how you're trying to convince another character. You change how you're trying to get to your goal. So, like, if I remember correctly, again, it's been 10 years. It might be something like threatening them, or pleading with them, bargaining with them, or it's like doing all sorts of different things to try and get to the goal. I only did it once, but I was like, this seems like a reasonable way to do it. And so I, in character, was like, I'm gonna flirt with this other character and see if I can get the gun from them that way. But I think I freaked out my scene partner a little bit because they weren't expecting it. Like, we're gonna try it. We're gonna try some things. Okay. I realized recently, because I've been thinking, okay, I like how this is looking. I think we need to continue around the edge. So maybe we do some more leaves and things over here. Or should we could do some leaves underneath these, maybe I do some leaves kind of like underneath the mushrooms here, kind of like going this way. That seems nice. That seems like a good plan. I'm gonna move some stuff. I've got so much stuff on this table. Cause I wanna, I think, film this. But I was thinking recently that I kind of want to do like some theater stuff again. It's been a long time since I've done any theater. Exactly, yeah. Exactly. Add some leaves there. Give them some food. But no, I was thinking recently that it might be fun to do some like theater classes or something in all my, you know, ample free time. But I had the realization the other day that I think more than anything, I don't know if it's doing theater that I miss, or if it's just like having some sort of collaborative art project with other people. I think I just miss having some sort of like collaborative project with other people to work on. Like it's really fun to just like hang out with a friend and like pretend to write songs. I say pretend to write songs, but like, you know, have something that you're working on together to try and like make. And I think maybe theater is one of those things that you have to kind of have that collaborative storytelling sort of. It's what it is. It's just collaborative storytelling, right? That's why D&D. That's why I like D&D. I'm not a huge fan of D&D. Like, I like it as an excuse more to like meet up with friends and have some food and chill and hang out. But also part of the reason that I like D&D is that I like an excuse to hang out with other people and work on a project together that we're all excited about and we're all passionate about. And I think that's really kind of what I miss from doing theater more than anything. Although it is fun to... I also enjoy hanging out with actors because they're weird. They're just fun people to hang out with. Let me do my thing where I dust this off. I think I'm getting some static along the edge. These are kind of sticking along the edge, and I think it's just static. It's not actually glue. Some of it's glue. I don't want to like hurt this form either, because I don't want resin leaking out. I did glue everything quite well, and then also taped it. You can see my lovely duct tape. It's hot glued and duct taped. I didn't have any leaks on the first layer, but I don't want to mess with these sides too much and break something. Kind of like the little island of leaves there. It's not bad. It does. I do think maybe I just like have a little bit of. I do kind of like with like a little bit of leafage in the middle of the fairy circle here, but mostly not. I think leaving the middle of the fairy circle open is kind of cool. And then I'm gonna add, I don't have them down here with me, but I have these butterfly stickers that they look like butterflies. And I'm gonna plan to do another layer of resin and then do a few things kind of at that layer. So some ferns kind of peeking in through the sides, and then maybe like a bee and one of those butterfly stickers. And I could have the butterfly flying kind of above here, or I might have it kind of here maybe. But I want it somewhere that it's not gonna like block too much other stuff. I am glad I did that though, because it makes the purple stand out more. It maybe isn't as noticeable on camera, especially at the angle that you're at, but the little mushrooms here, they blended in quite a bit with the brown. I think they stand out from the green better. Could also add some like lighter green bits. Yeah, I think some lighter green bits might be nice in there too, to also make the mushrooms stand out more. There we go. We'll add some more moss here underneath this flower over here too. There we go. And I do have some of that taller moss stuff too that we could add in here. This stuff. Yeah, add some of that in there. That'll be good. I kind of like that it went up on the mushroom there. That's kind of cool. Some things in here. There we go. Add some interest there. I like that. I don't know that I'll actually get around to pouring the next layer of resin today, but I'm hoping to at least get things kind of filled in. I feel like this would be good somewhere. Some of this kind of fluffy plant thing. Probably just a smaller piece of this. Oh, I could add it with the flowers to give it some more height. I think today is just going to be a lot of hemming and hawing, apparently. Sure, we'll just tuck it under there, I guess. We could add some more flowers and things too. I do have more flowers and things over here. This whole thing is got all sorts of flowers and things. Oh, like I have these orange ones. They're just rather flat. I do like this orange though. Ooh. There's also a different flower here that doesn't go with those. Ooh, that might be kind of pretty over somewhere in here though. I like that orange. I also think maybe we look through here for some more leaves and things too. Me. Pick some of these up. Let me put some of these back in their sleeves. Yeah, because I have some of these, which are nice. Let me pull out my leaf ones here. I mean, I have more of the, I've got a bunch of these, the like dark green kind of ferny ones, but I do have some other sort of fern type ones too. Like I said, I was going to have some of these coming in on the next layer up, especially some of the more fern-like ones. Some of these could go on this layer. Actually, before we do that, let's look at that orange one that I like and see if we can figure out a good spot for it. So I feel like we need to tie in some of that orange. I don't have to use the whole thing either. Could go for this kind of in here. Pulling some of that orange. I like that actually. I think that's nice because it's across from this orange. All the orange in these flowers, and so that'll kind of tie things together. I'm gonna block you guys, I think, for this one, and try and get like a nice little close-up of placing that without. Ugh. I'm gonna be zooming in a bit. There we go. Just kind of looks like it's sort of a vine or something creeping along the ground here, which works out fine. There we go. As long as it's tacked down, that's the important thing. It doesn't move. I'm kind of buried in there a bit. Add a little bit more. I've got that other piece here that we could add somewhere as well. This little piece that's left over. Sure, we'll do it there. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that now. I think that's good. Yeah. So I think it's just kind of this corner almost left. Maybe something in here. Just a little bit of something. Maybe we had a little bit of the leaves with the flowers. Some of the small leaves, I mean, to kind of tie the scales together. I do think that's kind of the problem I'm running into a little bit, is that the scale feels wrong. Like, these feel like leaves on the ground, little tiny ones, and then these feel like giant flowers. The scale's different between, you know, the mushrooms, which are small, and the leaves, which are small, and then some of these big flowers. Oh, but I do have this wasp nest and stuff. Another beetle. Some various flowers. Have that sitting somewhere. Alright, where do we put the wasp nest? I think that's our next. Did I put it towards the middle? I don't know if I want it to be like super obvious that it's there. Ooh, or do I put it over here actually? That might be cute, kind of poking out from underneath this leaf. I kind of like it there. It's a little bit more subtle. I like that, I think. That might work for... I'm going to glue that down. Hopefully we don't end up with too many air bubbles. In that, we might. Hopefully with this thinner resin we won't. Yeah, that's a great spot for that. I really like that. Alright, let's add... I want some of the little leaves, I think. There we go. Perfect. Just giant piles of leaves. I'm sure those will stay put. Just a second. Ooh, try not to hit you guys. That works out. Okay, let's add, I think, maybe some more moss over here. Where did I set my, here's my moss. I do still have these leaves and things over here that we'll mess with at some point. But I think I want some more of like this kind of moss over here. Maybe some of this other moss too, actually. But I'm gonna add just some a hunk of moss here. Just pull off a piece. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. That was a bigger piece than I meant to grab, but that's okay. This is another corner where I think it's going to be covered up with a bit of, why'd my music pause? You know, I think maybe my music paused before. Why is it pausing? What's going on? Oh, weird. Okay, let's add some more of that dark green over in this corner. Like we did with the other corner where I'm planning to have this kind of leaf on the next layer up. I did debate, oh, I guess you guys haven't seen that yet. I've still got to edit that. Actually, I still need to write the script for and edit. I got a little thing for doing, I think it's called flocking. I think it's called flocking. For making fake grass, basically. Basically use like static electricity to have little tiny pieces of fake grass all stand up. I didn't think about the fact that that is something that I still need to like work on. I made the dye a long while ago. I did a dye with that in it. I'm very excited about the video for that, but I need to work on a script. I'm not gonna be able to just. I've got plans for that video. That's gonna be a complicated one. And I do really want to work on it, but I've got a couple others that I'm working on a table at the moment, and then I have another set of dice that I think I'll have to check them after this. They might be done polishing now. I had a couple of them polishing a little bit more because they were still had a few little bits that needed a little bit more of a shine. But they might be done now that I think about it. It's been a couple days. Why does my music keep pausing though? That's just weird. It just keeps pausing. I might just pause it myself for a second. Don't know why it's doing that. Alright. Kind of feeling it. Maybe do we do leaves? Okay, here's a question. Do we do the circle here? Do we make it empty on the inside, or do I also add kind of like a circle of leaves underneath the mushrooms? That's the thing. The point of the flocking though is I was debating pulling it out for this and trying to add some like fake grass, but I decided that would probably be even more of a mess than these tiny leaves are. I could also put a bee or something on maybe a small amount of leaves. That's the hard part, is doing a small amount of leaves. I guess I'm debating whether I should emphasize the circle by having a circle of leaves, or if I should emphasize the circle by having kind kind of an emptiness on the inside. I'd basically leave it like it is on the inside at the moment with a few little leaves here and there, but have everything else stop at the mushrooms. I do think that actually kind of having the flow like this though, where there's kind of an empty spot in here, which is nice. I think I like, I think I need a little bit more here of something. But I do like that there's kind of like this empty spot in here and it's not completely centered. And it's a little bit, we've almost got like a few islands of things. I do think that that's interesting to look at, which is what we're going for. We want something that's interesting to look at. Oh. I did pull out the chamomile flowers. I could put some of those in places. What do we think? Add a little bit of leaves here at any rate. Why not? Should I see if my music wants to cooperate again? Okay. Let's see how that feels. I think we're getting weirdly staticky now. Well, I say now like it wasn't weirdly staticky before. I'm gonna do... Yeah, that got rid of some things. What petals am I losing? Apparently I'm blowing... Oh gosh, I'm covered in leaves. I see what petals I'm losing. Why am I losing those petals? I blew on a flower too hard, apparently. Okay. I can blow it off with my breath and it's not tacked on there well enough. I don't trust it to stay down. Alright. This works out fine because I'm just going to add a few of these petals nearby this flower, but not on this flower. Like they've fallen off, which they have. How would this look maybe over here? Add a little bit of a pink tone in there? Sure, why not? I want to spread it around a bit. Makes it feel more even if we've got some of those colors spread out. That's just a piece of glue. Sure. There we go. Music's back. We could add something else here too, instead of leaves. We do have a lot of the leaves now. Should we, or the small ones, maybe we add like a different kind of leaf or something? I do have all of these. Maybe one of like these leaves in there. I could add a 4-leaf clover too. Oh, that is a whole thing. I thought that was 2 separate things. So I was thinking I could put like this over here. Gonna look like a little bush almost. A little bit of greenery is always nice. Let's add that. Actually, well, I'll go in the middle. So I might kind of try to prop up some of the leaves, maybe with even just a little bit of glue, to give it them a little bit more height, so that it's not completely flat. This might go poorly. Not perfect, but it's something, I guess. But let's see. I've got some clovers in here. So we could do 4-leaf clover. I could do a 4-leaf clover in the middle of the fairy circle. It's kind of cute next to the mushroom circle, maybe. Maybe in here. Should I do a 4-leaf clover there? I kind of like that spot, actually. We'll just tack that down a little bit. Yeah, some of these leaves are quite large, but and then I think maybe we add some of the like tall stringy moss in here to kind of look like grasses almost. Let me set some stuff out of my way. Maybe? Where am I setting this out of my way? Where did I have this before? That's so much stuff over here. Set this over here. All right. So yeah, let's maybe add some of our taller grasses. I'm gonna do some little spots of glue here, I think, and then we'll add little pieces of grass as we go. Once again, I'm gonna try and zoom this in a bunch to where I want it. It's already zoomed in a bunch, so we'll just do that. And if it ends up being too tall, I guess, because I'm going to be doing a couple more layers of resin. If it's too tall on the next one, I'll just chop it down on the next one. Because I can do that if I really need to. Rather not if I don't have to, but this piece might be a little bit big. I might just chop it down now, actually. Yeah, that's nice. And then maybe we could add some other, like this moss in there a little bit. Actually, I should add some of the darker green too. I'll add some of the darker green. So I've got two different colors of this moss. I don't know how I did like 5-hour streams in the past, and I say that because I feel like after like 2 hours now I have a sore throat. How was I talking for 5 hours? I guess maybe to be fair, I don't do step out, handle, nighttime, bedtime, caretaker tasks. Okay, have a good night, Cobra. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, I don't know how, like, am I just old? Am I just old? I was talking about how middle school is like 20 years ago, which is very weird to think about. Does not seem like it was that long ago. Feels like 20 years should feel like a longer amount of time. I'm gonna add some more in the middle here. There we go. Call that good, I think. And then maybe we do a few more leaves in here. Still have some of the we're getting pretty close, I think. I think things are getting to how I want them to be. Yeah, I'll show you. There we go. There's that corner I was just working on. It's coming along. I have leaves stuck to my finger. Anyone need some tiny leaves? Now that I have it turned, I feel like there's a spot here that could use something. Maybe some flowers or something. Hide some more bones in here. I do also have tiny little mushrooms I could add. I could add some tiny mushrooms. That might be kind of cute, actually. Add some tiny mushrooms. Pour those in there. I could add a few tiny, like, glow-in-the-dark ones, or actually there's these little, like, light brown ones that are kind of cute. Actually, I've got like, I've got basically like small ones with the purple ones. Maybe I add some of this like tiny purple ones. Let's try adding like 3 of those. I got them in here. I think that's good. I've got these like little light brown ones that might actually work well too. Maybe just a few over here, or I could do little glow in the dark ones. They're very small though. Oh, or I've got these ones that they don't quite match this orange, so maybe not. I could add these ones. Little tiny ones. Those might be cute actually. They're like kind of tall. I'm worried I'm gonna break them, but I could add some of those over here. That might be kind of cool. I might have a few sticking out of the moss over here actually. I think I can use the moss to kind of hold them upright. Yeah. Just have a few sticking out of the moss. Don't even need to glue them. I can just stick them into the moss to hold them. I'm not worried about the polymer clay floating, so it shouldn't move around too much, and then they'll be held in place by the resin. If I can get them to actually stick into the moss. That is the question here. There we go. That's cute. Got some tiny mushrooms. Oh yes, those mushrooms have definitely fallen over. Which is what I expected. Oh, you know what I could use next to them are some of those tiny fake rocks. Where did I put my tiny fake rocks? Ah, back in here. Could just add a fake rock somewhere here too. Add a fake rock over here. Yeah, I don't know that I want all the tiny mushrooms. Like, I gotta kind of like make a funnel with my hand to get these back in here. There we go. I do have some larger mushrooms that I didn't actually put in. I do have one that's fallen over here. Could add another one over here. I don't really have many like twigs and things. I could add like some sticks and stuff like that. Got this orange one here that I think will fit in nicely. We'll tack it down. That's more of this moss somewhere. I'm running out of steam a bit. That is kind of what happened last time too. So I'm like, I'm to a point where I'm like, I don't know what I want to add next. I just know that it needs more stuff, but I don't know what I want to add. And I'm hitting that point again, I think, because although I know I'm close, it's just figuring out. I'm gonna rotate it again just so I can kind of see things from a new angle. Just want to kind of try and figure. I think it still needs more kind of in here. I think this still feels a little bit weird and disjointed, maybe. I think having it open in the middle will be fine, especially if I add a butterfly flying like overhead type thing. Could add some flowers. Let me see. I'm gonna pull out a couple chamomile flowers and just see how they look. They're more yellow. So I don't know if they're quite the vibe that I'm going for. Although the yellow's not bad actually. I don't mind a little bit of yellow in there. I could have a patch of like flowers in here. Although it almost feels too yellow. I think it's too yellow. I could almost go for maybe a little. I could, you know, do I find some more flowers? Do I put flowers there? I've got these guys still. Oh, I kind of like that flower in there. Yeah, maybe we do some more. Do some more flowers. Add another beetle over here, I think. Although that's kind of right across from. Put it over here instead. Got a beetle here. We'll add another beetle. Hopefully he might blend in a bit. He's quite dark against a dark background. I don't want to put him. Maybe I'm gonna put him on a flower instead, so that he stands out. There we go. Have them on the flower. It does mean that we've got a couple spots here now, though, where we should add something else. That's feeling pretty good now. I think that added to the whole thing a lot. Add some more bones and things, I don't know. That could work there. Yeah, I could get stashed on top of that. Alright, just add a bunch of stuff here. There we go, add another leaf. Yeah. I think it's okay for there to be some spots that are a little bit more bare than others. But I just want things to feel balanced and like the colors to also feel kind of balanced, I guess. I want it to look intentional, as we were talking about earlier. Like this part here feels a little bit weird. Where would I want to put that? Maybe over here. Maybe I'll have it, I could have it laying down. I could have this other one over here. All of these like tall things together actually is kind of nice. I feel like it gives it kind of like a flow to it almost. So I have things that are sticking, like this is, there's a lot of flat stuff here. And then there's kind of like a section here where things are sticking up and a section here where things are sticking up. And then if I put kind of all this stuff together here, I also think that's kind of nice because then you've got kind of like a wave almost of how tall things are. So let's go for that. I think I like that. still need something over here. Add a little bit of the brighter moss, I guess. Sure, there we go. Ah! And I should still probably tap out any extra leaves. Oh, I apparently didn't glue that down. Just a second, there's the leaves here that I didn't glue down. Have that sitting there. A little something in there. Don't like that as much. Sure, there we go. Alright, how's this feeling? I feel like I could leave it here. Because I am, like I said, I am going to add some stuff on another layer above it. But I'm thinking this might be enough stuff on this layer. I probably want to kind of blow on it again, make sure there's not cat hair. It's always cat hair. Well, it doesn't matter what I make, there's always going to be cat hair. Let's be real. I think that's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Some of this glue out of there that I don't need. Maybe I add just a little bit more leaves along this edge to kind of even things out a little bit with the other side. And then we'll call it good. I'll probably be where I leave things off. And this will become, I'll come pour the layer probably tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to do it tonight. And then eventually you guys will see the finished thing in a video. This was supposed to be a December video. It's not going to be. I can tell you that now. Both of the projects I was working on, I was like, oh, it'd be nice to get these done for December. Nope. I did get another video all edited the other day, and I'm kind of working on a behind the scenes video for it too, because that's something I think I want to do. I almost have the behind the scenes video done as well. I think I need to film kind of like an outro type thing for the behind the scenes. Because at the moment it just kind of ends with me working on stuff, but I think I need to actually say goodbye to the audience for the behind the scenes. The plan for behind the scenes stuff is I'm gonna put it up for patrons and channel members, I think. So it'll be kind of like an exclusive thing. Like I was saying before, I like knowing how things work. So I feel like that'd be a fun little bonus thing for people who also like to see behind the curtains a bit. And also to help, promote my Patreon and things. Alright. I think that's pretty good. I think that'll work. Here's the, here's how it looks. I'm gonna tilt it up a little bit so I can angle it a bit more. Oh, nope, you get more glare that way. Gotta love the light bulb there. But there we go. I'm feeling pretty happy with that. And I think this kind of like section here that's a little bit more empty works out fine. That's where we're gonna put like a butterfly and stuff above it, flying around. So that'll add some interest and some texture there, so it doesn't just feel completely empty. And then the sides are pretty filled in, which I think will be kind of like a good border for those things that are gonna be up above. Got some beetles, got some various things. I think that's gonna do it. Like I said, I'm gonna probably pour this tomorrow. I need to set up some other stuff. I'm gonna go put this on a different table entirely so that it's not in the way, so I can pour other things here. But I do appreciate you guys hanging out while I worked on this. I'm gonna head out for the night. Like I said, I'm getting a little bit of a sore throat, and I think it's just from talking for an extended period of time. But it was nice chatting with you all. I'm glad you could come get a little sneak peek of a video that I'm working on. That's always kind of fun. I think I should be back next weekend. I don't know what I'm gonna stream yet. If you have something in particular you want to see me stream, feel free to let me know. I'll probably end up using it as an excuse to, hey, my music just ran out too. my playlist just stopped. But I'll probably use it as an excuse to work on something else that I need to work on, like sanding or polishing or pouring some resin. Or we might use it as an excuse to work on some project for fun. But I will hopefully see you guys then. Until then, have a good week. Have a good night. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.